Hey there, welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And my goal is to give you, as parents especially, the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or both sometimes watching a particular film. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called Leo. This absolutely adorable animation is now playing in select theaters and on Netflix. The movie is rated PG. It's an hour and 42 minutes. And my overall movie review mom grade is an A. Now, this movie actually came out right about Thanksgiving time, but I was in bed recovering from a surgery, so I never filmed the video review of it until now. I'm trying to catch up. And it's such a cute movie that I wanted to bring it to your attention in case you didn't even know it existed. Now, if you have Netflix, maybe you already saw it. But if you don't have Netflix, you might want to subscribe and check this one out, especially if you love watching movies with your kids. Now, it's the holiday season and families are together looking for things to do. Parents are often looking for things for their kids to do. Anyway, so consider this one. I'm going to first give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I liked and didn't like about the movie, as well as tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that you might also really like, or maybe even like better than this one. All right, so you ready to dive in? Me too. So Adam Sandler and his family have done it again. After their fantastic movie, You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah on Netflix, they've created another funny and endearing animated musical that is inspiring and just adorable. I probably am going to use the word adorable several times in this. Now, that Bat Mitzvah movie I mentioned is not an animation, but I so enjoyed that film. And because it was filled with Adam Sandler's own family, and they do the voice talent in this one as well. So I loved this movie, Leo, and I watched it by myself, not even with my kids. I wish I could have had some kids with me to see and hear their reactions to all of the humor. I think my four sons would have really loved this when they were younger. My older son now has two little ones. And so I told him, I'm like, you are going to want to watch this because it's hilarious. And the humor is great for kids, but also for parents. And so he did. And he said he thought it was pretty cute. So the movie is about a 74-year-old lizard named Leo, who decides to escape from the terrarium where he has lived as a class pet at an elementary school in Florida for years. He thinks he only has 1 year left to live based on what somebody told him. So he wants to live out his dreams while he can. The film was directed by Robert Marianetti, Robert Smigel, and David Wachenheim. The playful script was written by Adam Sandler, Robert Smigel, and Paul Sado. So there were a lot of things I really liked about this, obviously. First of all, Adam Sandler is known for his raunchy comedies, but every now and then he comes out with a family-friendly gem for everyone to enjoy. This is the first time that he's been involved in an animated film since his popular Hotel Transylvania franchise. In fact, because he was working on this movie, he was not able to voice Drac the vampire in the last of the four Hotel Transylvania films. So that's so sad. I mean, you'd think they would have just timed it differently, especially if Adam Sandler were in charge of all of this. I don't know how all that works, but the terrific voices were created by, as I said, Adam Sandler and his family, as well as comedian Bill Burr, Jason Alexander, Cecily Strong, Rob Schneider. Several of those are from TV comedy shows, SNL particularly. Heidi Gardner, Nicholas Turturro, say that name 10 times fast, Nick Swartzen, and more. I love that Adam Sandler always includes his friends and SNL cast members when he makes movies. The musical numbers often sound like quirky Broadway bits, but a few of them are really lovely. The lyrics are always amusing and sometimes even insightful. Sadly, they're all surprisingly really short. The color palette in the movie is bright and friendly, appealing perfectly to kids. The animation itself is creative, detailed, and super cute. The biting honesty is refreshing, insightful, and hilarious. With all of the anger and fighting in this world, it's so wonderful to have an uplifting movie like this to share with your kids. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many lessons for adults here too. With foul-mouthed comedians, Adam Sandler and Bill Burr leading the pack, I was definitely worried that this movie would be filled with inappropriate humor. So I was pleasantly surprised by the family-friendly content. There are some jokes and gags aimed at adults only, but the edgier ones should fly over the heads of the little ones. During one joke, a character breaks the fourth wall and talks directly to the audience. I don't know why, but that always makes me laugh. The film definitely doesn't take itself too seriously, which is refreshing and delightful. I had a big smile on my face during the entire movie. I think I like this movie a lot more than most people did. The portrayal of these wild kindergartners is hilarious and also adorable. Now, with all of that praise, there were just a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been done differently or better even. For example, Adam Sandler really only has one voice when trying to do characters. And this is it again. Just telling you, if you don't like Adam Sandler, then you might want to skip this one. It's not quite a musical, but it does have some musical moments. And as I mentioned, not all of them are memorable songs that your kids are going to want to sing around the house, but listen to the lyrics because they're super entertaining. Let me give you some tips for parents because this is aimed at kids. First of all, parents are going to absolutely love the many life lessons and wisdom in this film. We see pee in several scenes. The requisite number of farting and talk of poop for a kid's movie are also met. Leo the lizard eats lots of bugs, and so if you've got kids who love bugs, you might need to talk about that with them. Dishonesty and all of its consequences are shown, and that's a good thing. Not the dishonesty, but the consequences. Now, some of the themes that are worth talking about with your kids if you watch this movie with them are education, purpose in life, friendship, finding your place in the world, the power of listening, kindness, and service to others and making them feel special. So whenever I watch movies, I write down funny lines and interesting lines, simply so you can get a taste for the dialogue and the script writing quality. And so you can see all of them that I wrote on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. But I'll share some of them with you right now. All right, so Mrs. Salinas is the teacher in this elementary school. And she says, I hope everyone's met our class pets, Leonardo and Squirtle. And then a little girl named Jada says, I'm not touching those things. And then another character says, don't they eat, sleep, and poo in the same place? And then another character says, hey, I poo where he sleeps. Anyway, this is kind of cute. Lots of little fast little comments by these kids. That line should get some reaction out of kids. This next line is probably more humor for the adults. So for example, one of the teachers says, you do not want demerits. And another little kid says, what's a demerit? And then another kid answers, I think he played for the Clippers. Ba-dum-bumch. Now, Leo is voiced by Adam Sandler. He's this super cute lizard, and he says, that's what great teachers do. With the little time they have, they try to make a difference. As he's learning lessons, that's probably maybe a spoiler, but an epiphany that he has towards the end of the movie. Another line is spoken by a teacher. This one is voiced by Cecily Strong, and she says, life gets more difficult the older we get. It's called growing up. Boy, ain't that the truth. And while the children are changing, Leo is changing, everything is changing. Mrs. Salinas, the teacher, says, guys, you don't have to be afraid of change. Change is a beautiful part of life. That's one of the many lessons that the viewers can watch, especially the kids who watch this. And then another sweet line is also spoken by Adam Sandler's character, the lizard. And turns out, oh, I don't want to give it away. Okay, so I won't tell you everything, but he says another line. He says, I didn't know how to help, so I just listened, and that helped. And I loved that sometimes you don't have to have the answers to all the problems and solve all of the challenges, but just listening is really helpful. And then an interesting line that he says, Adam Sandler's character is, this is a tough time, but these are the best years. Believe me, enjoy not knowing everything. He's talking to the little kids, but that's also a nod to the parents too, especially if you're a first time parent. I feel like I spent the whole time raising my oldest son, not knowing what the heck I was doing because he was my first. And then another bit of wisdom spoken in the movie is, remember, everyone's scared. So don't keep it to yourself. Find your Leo, the lizard or friend, to talk to. It could be your teacher, your mom, your friend, your turtle. They're ready to listen. I promise they'll make you feel better. And again, that's a really great lesson that the characters learn, but also one that they want little kids watching this movie to know that if something's wrong, talk about it. Find somebody, a good friend, someone that you trust that you can share that with. And I think that's such a great lesson for little kids. Now, while I watch movies, I always think of other movies that are similar, and I wanted to recommend these ones to you. The first one is Finding Nemo. Now, I know it's been around forever. It's one of my favorite, makes me cry every time I see it, but it's about a young one going to school and having adventures and learning and changing and growing. Such a great movie. You've seen it, but your kids might not have. So definitely let them enjoy that. Another movie I thought of is Shrek, where he's learning new different things and going off and having adventures, similar themes. And then the last one, again, similar in themes, is Monsters, Inc. Those are all classics, aren't they? They're so good, and they're classics for a reason. All right, if you have a recommendation for a movie that you think is similar to this one, comment down below. And when you get a minute, run over to Instagram. You can find me as Movie Review Mom or as Trina Boice, which is my name. And you can learn about my books when they are offered for free on Amazon, or my online courses, or some of the other shenanigans that I'm involved with. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.